Something I need to say, I always command a lot of funding because I'm one of the only technical women in history. I'm certainly one of the brown ones. I have a very good technical understanding. I'm not a very good coder, who cares, but I can code. I've got, whatever. I'm a polymath, I'm a generalist. Everyone knows this term. It's something young people are like, what's the big deal? It's certainly the standard, the status quo way of thinking. If you think that you should be a specialist, even the specialists, a lot of them are generalists because they're so clever. And alongside that, I have looked at a lot of different projects over the years, and I have developed a lot of projects, and I've had a lot of people, especially during my time of hacking, who have tried to collaborate with me. And so what the script has been is some random person comes into my life and we have a conversation, and then they go out there and then they say that we're doing a project together. It's categorically not true. I've had at least 10 people who've tried this, and they'll say they're my boss. Okay, so when I was doing textile printing, I met Georgina Tan, who is the sister of Wendy Tan, and Wendy Tan is one of the most intelligent women in the world. Her company created a software to create websites. This was like 20 years ago. It was so forward thinking. It gave the power to the people. And she's an Imperial graduate. I probably even know her. But anyway, I do a lot of courses, and on my textile printing course, Georgina Tan was there, her sister, who was creating a book. So through the printing process, that she was creating elements of a book which made cuddly toys, and it was a really cool idea, actually. And there was a complete random girl there who kind of muscled in on our conversation the whole time. We were pretty polite to her. She was this mumsy woman, a bit strange. My gut instinct told me she was part of the hacking world, especially when I told them both about my hacking, and I was extremely concerned. And this blonde woman, she had bleached blonde hair, terrible dress sense. She claimed she had worked at Saatchi for a few months or something. That sounded like nonsense anyway, because there was nothing. And she produced nothing in that whole 6 weeks. She produced absolutely nothing creative. So I was like, and she was stupid. She also was part of this whole free school idea, which I do not believe in at all. I look at these free schools, they're outside of the normal system, and I just think that place is going to be bankrupt. That place is going to be bankrupt. It's run by a bunch of stupid hippies who have no ability. Their kids are probably not being brought up properly and can't get into a good school. So they set up these crappy schools because they're too snobby to put their kid in a comprehensive or something, which is probably run way better. Anyway, so I met this woman. I cannot remember her name. And I have a thing, which a lot of people in innovation do, and in politics as well. They'll set up a fake project. They call it the Turd. We call it the Turd project, and we'll see which dung beetles will crawl towards it and what they'll do with it. And this horrible woman, who actually her big thing was she bought a secondhand bike, but she was really overweight. So I was like, she clearly doesn't ride it. And the idea that I looked into, it was kind of a turd project because I'd already researched it and I knew it was unviable, was to create a kind of like a website for creators, for adult play and adult creation, you know, like the mandala drawing stuff. So just have it in one place, but you could create other things for adults. And at the time, I looked into it. It's a little bit like Etsy, but you create your own things. And I thought of what Wendy Tan had done with her website making software as well. So it's all in that same line. I kind of thought, well, you know, if we've got the chance to connect with her, obviously she could be a great coach on that. But ultimately, I'd researched it and thought that fad is over. It's not, the market is not big enough. It was saturated as well. However, I thought, let's you know, explore the project to see if Georgina was serious, and also this woman, you know, if she had any ability as well. And she weirdly made herself the boss. She didn't actually do anything anyway, didn't produce any ideas, and then started to order us around. And I just thought, my God, you're probably from Unit 9. What a pile of bullshit. And so basically, I let her run with that. I let that dung beetle run with that piece of dung, while I actually spoke to Georgina about other projects, particularly some wearables and things like that. Obviously, I didn't really reveal much. In fact, I had some messages with Wendy, and she was more interested in my real projects because she could see, you know, I was just distracting this dung beetle, as we all were. And that's that. So that dung beetle has never had anything to do with my life. I put out crappy projects out there to attract other dung beetles so they can, you know, hold it and sniff it for 10 years and show it to people, because people know that they're stupid. They will know. And obviously, if Wendy Tan, who is, you know, one of the pioneers of loosely of this kind of genre, is, you know, if she rejected it, you know that you should drop that project. And if you're an ideas person or creative in any way, you'd come up with other ones, wouldn't you? You'd have like 100 other ones. But dung beetles, they don't have that. They hold on to their little bit of dung, and they carry it with them for the rest of their lives, because that's all they have, and they probably stole it from someone else. So it's extremely important as a creator to have dung beetles and dung, because it keeps them busy, keeps them happy, keeps them satisfied. It lets them feel important. They're holding that piece of dung. So that's all there. And all my friends knew this. So all my friends within innovation world, within VR, they knew this. All of them, every single one, all the Brighton lot, they know we all have dung projects to attract the dung beetles. You have to. So there's all that going on. And then the other producers at Unit 9 I dealt with were pretty horrific. One was a poison dwarf, and I worked on a book project that didn't work. It was a complete mess, that project. This particular woman was highly horrible, and there was another manager, I guess, or whatever. She was useless. I understand she tried to imply she was famous, but I did not recognize her, because clearly I don't recognize any famous people. So that's like, gives me no enjoyment whatsoever. I don't get anything from it. I never recognize famous people, whether they've got latex or not. I just don't. I'm not interested, frankly. It doesn't give them any extra bit on their CV for me at all. She was absolutely useless as well, and she was obsessed with the fact that so that was that. So the horrible poison dwarf woman was obsessed with glamping, which I hate. All my friends and family know I hate festival toilets with a vengeance. This is why I don't go camping. I don't like camping or tents, really. With the guy who looks a lot like Prince William, we did go to one festival and we stayed in a tent, and he regretted that because I dumped him quite soon after. And you know, I thought I'd see it was a bit rubbish. I think he was trying to slum it. I don't know what. But anyway, I found out he was a lot younger than I thought. So all in all, I would have never dated him if I knew his age. I'm embarrassed. But he was a nice person and hot. Anyway, it's the weird, like, yeah, whatever. It was silly. Silly times. So tents to me are very, very silly. And then, so she was obsessed with this glamping nonsense. Yeah, I'm not obsessed with that. The festivals that I have been to have usually been on the day, so I'll just go there on the day and come back. I never stay over. Julian hated festivals because he hated crowds. He just thought they were a high-risk situation, which I can understand. We went to more stuff abroad. And then, what can I say? Then we, yeah, popularity and being a boss. Basically, sometimes to make the best decisions, sometimes you have to be unpopular. They have to be unpopular decisions. But you always have to command respect. You do not command respect by being horrible. You do command respect by getting things done. Sometimes you have to be horrible to do that. If people are being stupid, you have to be horrible sometimes and just be like, this is nonsense. And that's it. One thing people hate more than anything else is fake smiles, especially in innovation and technology. Absolutely hate fake smiles. It might work for hospitality, but it has to be appropriate. I would treat probably newcomers and kids with a bit more, smiley smile, but they're learning. To people who are experienced, I wouldn't give them that space at all. I would sack them on the spot. They should know better. If it's a catastrophic decision, if I know that it's a health and safety issue, for instance, because you have to. It's an unpopular decision sometimes, but people respect you for it. I think people who are just assholes for no reason, it doesn't make them a great boss. Usually, a lot of the time, it just makes you realize they're rubbish at everything. People have to be able to do stuff as well. If you cannot do anything, you will never command any respect. If you cannot solve any problems, if you have nothing creative to offer to the table other than things that you've stolen, by the way, all the young people know if you've stolen stuff, they will not do anything you say. That's basically it. I think if the young people are completely rejecting you as a boss, it basically means that you're sacked. You're sacked.